appears to show an opposition MP, Mohammed Seguiria, being abducted at gunpoint by masked men just as he was being released from prison. He was one of two MPs arrested last week who are loyal to the opposition leader Bobi Wine. Here's Patience Atuhari.
Honorable Sewanyana's lawyer says that she does not have any information on who's holding her client or his whereabouts. In a video clip shared across social media, the legislator can be seen walking past the prison's facility checkpoint on his way out. A few seconds after he passes the barrier, a white van, which has become infamously known as a drone, swerves in front of him, and men dressed in black grab and throw him inside. Drones became common during the January 2021 election season, grabbing and whisking away thousands of opposition supporters, some of whom have never been seen again.
News from the BBC. More than 70 people have been arrested in Burkina Faso in connection with money laundering and the funding of armed groups. The detainees are accused of being involved with fuel trafficking in areas where jihadist groups are active. Investigators said the traffickers work at night, moving hundreds of thousands of litres of fuel across the country. Police in Nigeria say they've arrested 3 suspects in connection with the abduction of more than 100 students from a school in the northern state of Kaduna. A police spokesman said the chief suspect carried out surveillance of the high school prior to the mass kidnapping in July. Here's Chris Iwaka.
The arrest is seen as a major breakthrough for security forces trying to contain rising violence in the northwest and central regions of Nigeria. But the principal of Bethel Baptist High School, Ishaya Adamu Jangado, said he has not been informed of the arrest. He told the BBC that the school authorities and parents of the abducted children are still in talks with the kidnappers on how to get the remaining students freed. Police spokesman Mr. Frank Mba said the kidnap gang was made up of 25 people. 22 other members involved in the abduction are still at large.
Supporters of Catalan independence have been demonstrating outside the Italian consulate in Barcelona in protest at the detention of the region's former leader in Sardinia at the request of the Spanish authorities. Carles Puigdemont is to face an extradition hearing on the Italian island, with Spain seeking to bring him to trial for alleged sedition. The former chairman of China's leading drinks brand, Mo Tait, has been sentenced to life in prison for bribery. A court in southwest China found that Yuan Rengguo had accepted over $18 million in bribes over 14 years in exchange for lucrative distribution deals. BBC News.
天天在一起，天天用心听，听见台北的声音。FM 93.1，幸福永远属于你。
公民总主笔，
方恩格时间。
谁当家？
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 你当家？
谁当家？谁当家？
谁当家？
谁当家？我当家？你当家？我当家？
我当家？
到底谁当家？你来当家。
Welcome to Residence Messenger on Taipei Broadcasting Station. I'm your host, Ross Darrell-Feingold. Today, our guest, and we're happy to have her back, is Peggy Lin from Project Fulfill Art Space, a contemporary art gallery here in Taipei. Peggy, you also represent a number of contemporary artists, so welcome back to the show. And let's get right into it. But broadly speaking, what has COVID-19 done to the contemporary art world?
Well, like we were discussing before the show, I think it's still not really affected a lot. Only maybe people, the collectors or like me, we cannot travel, and that's it. But online digital still got very strong. And I think for the market, let's talk like straightforward. For the market side, still very strong because we cannot go out. So the traffic budget saved.
So people say they spend their travel budget on artworks.
Yeah, maybe just like a small bonus. Yeah.
You mentioned digital, and help us understand what kind of contemporary artworks may have become more popular during this period of time.
What kind? I think, well, paintings and sculptures are still strong, and then it's easier to get it, even though through your iPhone or through your laptop, you can still know like what the texture might be if you know the artist. And for those artworks is less popular, you would like to ask maybe something like more you have to engage, like you have to interact with the piece. Probably that would be less popular.
Can you give us some examples of, especially for those of us who are not so familiar with contemporary art, when you say a pieces that you have to interact with, give us some examples.
Well, like the show right now in my gallery, Wang Zhongkun, I would say I was really lucky before the pandemic. During that serious moment, I was doing a painting, so it's easier. I send out the PDF, I put it online, and people know the artist, so they know the texture, they know the quality, so they would buy it. I was like, sorry about that, Zhongkun, but if I was doing Zhongkun show at that moment, people cannot visit it. I don't think I will make it, because it's like a sculpture, and then you have to interact, because you have to see how it moves. The thing is that his sculpture, his work needs to be there and then encounter, because it's sound and installation, and you have to be there and see how it moves, because it's random, and you cannot feel anything. You also is the surrounding, the sound and the soundscape. So if I did the show during that moment, I think the outcome will be really, really bad. Yeah.
Well, what about how this differs in various parts of the world? For example, it sounds like contemporary art has retained its popularity, or maybe the popularity has grown. Is that the same in different parts of the world, or in some parts of the world people have, during this period, renewed their interest in different types of art other than contemporary art? Does this thing differ from Europe to the United States to Asia?
I don't think there's any difference, to be honest, because those collectors who are keen to see new works, or they are already very interested in contemporary art, they are still going for that. And yeah, well, it's really like, but I would say maybe what the money will put more into some blue chips art pieces than for famous artists, because the value will be stay there, and then rather than maybe investing or acquiring like young emerging artists. Yeah.
And what about the areas that actually you're not involved in? So, the more traditional old masters, these kinds of artworks. Do you find that people are moving to contemporary art in recent times, and the other types of art maybe has less interest?
No, I think they are still the same. They're really the same. But master is still, the market is still very stable. So it won't go wrong.
What about here in this part of the world specifically, whether Taiwan or Hong Kong, Japan, Singapore? Help us understand the effect of COVID-19 on Asia specifically and demand for contemporary art.
I think I'm not really quite, I would say, for example, last year when the COVID started to get serious, I had a really cute piece from my artist, and I asked my Indonesia collector, because I was supposed to go there for the art fair, and it was in August, and I knew that he was very interested about her piece. But then when it happened and I offered the piece, and then he just said, Peggy, I really don't have the mood. Because actually Indonesia was really, really, really serious. Like Southeast Asians, is really, really bad, the situation. So he said, I don't even want to talk about art.
So it wasn't a financial issue, it was just the mood.
The mood. I think the mood. But then after maybe a few months, I feel like people are started to get back and then try to get something new and then try to get some art. And
of course, you tell them that buying some art, displaying some art is the best way to improve your mood, right?
Yes. So, well, I cannot say that, but I was like, oh, there's something really nice. Maybe it can soothe your mood and make you feel better, maybe like that.
Speaking of which, let's talk a bit about the effect of COVID-19 on the artists themselves. Maybe it affects their mood as well. Does it change the kind of works that the artists are thinking of or actually creating? This pandemic, does it change their thought process for what kind of artworks they want to produce?
Probably not, because I only know one artist from Japan. She wants to do something about COVID, like the reflection or echo to the situation. But the others who I'm working closer with in Taiwan, they just stick what they want to do. There's nothing really changed to their art form or the concept, or they want to react, or maybe later, but now not really like big reaction about that. But the way they, for example, one artist accidentally went back to the hometown and the COVID starts, the pandemic, and so she needs to, she told me that I only brought like maybe 2 nights clothes to change, but then I decided to stay for I think over a month. And she said it's quite relaxing because she doesn't need to run around, but still she needs to work. So it's go online just like the rest of us. And then she told me that, oh, I actually brought some vegetables and supplies back to Taipei because I think she was in Tainan or somewhere. Her father and she just drove up to Taipei and then put the food and grocery to the dorm, which she has like maybe 2-3 roommates, and then left. Just like supplier. It's really cute. And other artists I know, because I actually asked them, what are you doing? And some of them were like practicing, start to practice more technique or tidy up the room, or maybe just take a break. Because one even told me that, same like the collector, I don't really want to think about art now because there's no meaning to do that, because we have something serious, something more to think about, like the life after this. Yeah.
But does it have an effect on, for example, the materials they use, or do you see a trend with different colors, for example?
No, not really. Not really.
Yeah, so it almost sounds like the art world is still kind of, in English we'd say, siloed off from the broader events.
No, I think for me, and maybe for the artist, the cleverest way is to calm down right now, and then maybe later, maybe a year or 2 years after, you'll probably see something like that, because they need to absorb the situation. And
so there's like a lag time between events and when they start producing the artwork. I think
so, yeah, because the reason why I think the direct reaction sometimes is risky, because people probably will say, you do something about it because you want attention, maybe. So most of the artists will try not to do.
They don't react immediately to sort of these global events.
Yeah, because, well, if you not really think through, better not do it. Yeah.
Oh, good advice from a gallery owner.
Yes.
But speaking of the gallery owners, let's talk about outside Taiwan first. I mean, when you speak to some of your friends in the industry who operate galleries in other locations around the world, whether there's lockdowns or they're in cities without lockdowns, how does it change what they can or what they wanted to do in the galleries?
You mean, like, keep in touch with galleries from Japan, Tokyo, and Tokyo was
quite serious.
Serious. So they really want to do something, like really want to collaborate with galleries outside of Japan. Yeah, because so they are quite aggressive when talking about working together. Because
and is that because they're not able to have in-person events in their galleries?
They cannot, and they shut down whenever they have the
emergency.
Yes. So there's nothing they can do, and I feel like they are more aggressive than before when talking about working together. That's how I feel, because I'm going to have 2 shows from Tokyo, from Japan next year. So I feel like they are very passionate about talking.
Whereas before they weren't as willing to do that.
Before they are willing to do that, but not really like, hey, can you tell me the date, maybe when we are going to start this project? Before it was, I would ask them, what do you think, or when the artist can do this, but now it's like the other way around.
Now, what about whether inside Taiwan or outside Taiwan, what about configuring the gallery and the display space to accommodate social distancing rules and things like that? What do you hear is the experience of gallery owners in different locations? Is this something that it's a problem because it has an impact on the ability to display the artworks?
Well, display is the same, but maybe 1 month ago, I think we have to register. We have to make appointment, and then one time should be 4 or 3 maximum at one time, and then maybe just 1 hour visit. Just you have to do that. And for gallery like my size, and for I think for museum probably 100 to 200 per hour, and the rest I don't think we have any. Oh yeah, of course QR code, anything.
Yeah, how do gallery owners feel about enforcing these things? You know, checking people's QR codes and text messages, because now you have to become like the QR code police and the vaccine passport police. How do gallery owners feel about being put in that role?
Well, I have to protect my staff and my artists, so I'll do whatever I have to do to protect them. So that's if this is the way it goes, then I'll do it. Yeah,
because some parts of the world there's kind of like a resistance to that, right? The store owners don't want to do it, the customers don't want to do it, it becomes a problem.
But I think Taiwan is quite.
Everybody's pretty well behaved.
Yeah, well behaved. Yeah, I spoke with the curator from Pompidou, in Paris, 1 month ago too. She was quite against it. Like
people protesting in the streets. So we don't want to have to
show the passport. Then you can go to the museum, but then she told me that I've had COVID for 2 times, and then I think it's quite okay. The other side of the world, me and my staff was like 2 times. Okay.
So you don't want to visit her, is what you're saying.
So I'm better not. Maybe next year. Yeah.
Let's talk about one of the artists you're currently exhibiting, Wang Zhongkun, who's a sound artist.
Yes.
And tell us a bit about, before we talk about the current exhibition, tell us a bit about Wang Zhongkun's background and some of the works he's done in the past.
Well, always focusing on sound, but he tried to convert the sound. We probably will say noise, white noise, or sound into music instrument. For example, the previous work he had been doing since many years ago, and then his ongoing project is called Sound of the Suitcase. Now everything were in the box, and when you open it, or when it opens by itself, when it sends your attention. For example, there's one, imagine there's a big plastic tube. With inside there are colorful plastic or glass stone. And then when it rolls, it sounds visually it has a light underneath it, and it's transparent. And then when it started to roll, because we put the electricity, and it has the sound of the sea wave on the beach. So it makes that sound feel like something you're familiar with, and it's quite soothing. It's quite, nice and comfortable. And there's another piece, something similar like that. He showed it in the Taipei Fine Art Museum. It's the same concept, but now the tube is like it will tilt because of the motor, and it sounds like the instrument in Africa. We call it rain stick, or that wood stick when you turn, and then you will hear something like raining, something like that. Yeah.
Now, Wang's website says he makes sound, visual, kinetic sculpture. Again, for those of us who are not familiar with sound art, what is kinetic sculpture?
Kinetic, well, how should we say that? Well, we'll take the example, take the current show, for example. The trigger is the wind. And so when you put something you need some balance. And then when the wind comes, probably something will tilt or will turn. And then it has some elements that stay right here, which will blow the wind. And maybe there are some tubes. When the tube meets the whistle, it will blow the sound. And it's all because of the wind. So this time if you walk into the gallery space, you'll feel like you'll see there are a lot of fans, and the air conditioner is quite strong because we need the wind. And wind is the trigger, and that's one kind of kinetic artwork. And some of them probably will use the power, some kind, if you hit something and then something will react. So it's like a trigger. What is the trigger to move the object?
So the current exhibition is called Breezy Afternoon, Wei Feng de Wu Hao. And what other pieces are part of the exhibition besides the one you just described?
And the other one, it looks like fan blade, and it actually, if you walk around it, because of its quite balancing, it calculates really well. So even if you just walk really slow, it will react the balance, and then it will trigger. There is something like a drum. It will hit the drum, and then you will hear something really, really tiny, but you will hear the sound of some drums. And then there are 8 pieces of them, so you can just walk around, or you can even run, and so the sound would be like small, from very tiny to very loud. It really depending on your movement, not the object itself. Yeah.
And how did Wang develop an interest in creating this kind of sound art? Was he a musician previously, or what sparked what was his inspiration to make sound art?
I think the professor he was following, he is the master of sound art in Taiwan, Wang Furui, and I think it really inspired him. Even though the way of presentation is quite different, but the interest of sound, I think, is inspired by this professor.
Yeah. Why is sound art gaining some popularity? It's something we're hearing more and more about in Taipei.
Yeah.
Why is that? What's the appeal?
I think, we have very good sound artists like the master, and he has a lot of students that are doing really well. Wang Zhongkong is one of them. And also we have really good curator who knows sound art really well, like Amy Zheng from the Cube Space. She curated a sound show in Venice Biennial like 4 editions ago, specifically about Taiwan sound arts. So I think that probably promote a lot, and at the same time I think we're quite creative, and the artists know how to make good use of the technology and the variety the variety you can choose. Either you want really cool, very minimum visual and sound, or you want something like Wang Zhongkun, kind of a little bit playful, or even, you know, some of the sound artists, they collaborate, even though it becomes like techno music. It was really high on site. If you do the live performance, it could be really, really high. Yeah, it's like in the club.
And the items that Wang Zhongkun's currently exhibiting at the Breezy Afternoon, are they for the purposes to have them in museums long term, or these are some things that collectors would consider purchasing?
Collectors would consider, because we really receive quite a lot of positive reaction, and few collectors would really like to collect it, because they said the one I was describing, they said it can be just put right some at the corner in a home with in the natural wind, or even the air conditioner, and then slowly you will hear something, and it's really random or haphazard. You'll have something surprising you. And the museum, yes, we already have few museum directors or collection department has visited. Yeah. Okay,
well, we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll continue talking about contemporary art in Taipei and what's upcoming at Project Fulfill Art Space in Taipei. You're listening to Residence Messenger on Taipei Broadcasting Station.
有长照服务需求、长照特别扣除额问题，请拨打1966长照专线，5分钟内通话免付费。一通电话让长期照顾管理专员协助申请长期照顾服务及解答长期照顾特别扣除额相关问题。以上内容由台北市政府卫生局提供。
爸爸应酬不开车，黄色嘟嘟安全多，应酬喝酒不过量，安全回家最上道。爸爸要平安回家哦。
喝酒不开车，开车不喝酒哦。让我们一起尊重生命，拥抱亲情。
亲爱的朋友，您还在吸烟吗？快拿着健保卡到戒烟门诊，或拨打戒烟专线0800636363。提醒您，最近兴起的电子烟、加热烟，因为没有浓浓的烟臭味，就被认为无害。其实已经证实，新兴烟品都有二手烟及三手烟的危害，甚至还有爆炸的风险。我是义工蔡依林，所有烟品都 get out。我拒烟，我骄傲。
教育部提醒大家，开学防疫不松懈，请家长每日量孩子体温，如有发烧请就医，并在家休息。上课时要全程佩戴口罩，采固定座位、固定成员。使用空调时保持通风良好。用餐时采个人套餐，使用隔板或维持社交距离，不并桌、不交谈。校园防疫不松懈，安心学习有保障。以上广告由教育部提供。
大家好，我是奥运举重国手郭幸存。举重不是硬碰硬，而是找对方法去面对它，就跟防疫一样。面对疫情，我们可以扎稳基本功，勤洗手、戴口罩，维持社交距离。面对未知，我们可以谨慎以对，主动查证讯息，避免恐慌。让我们团结抗疫，一起为台湾拿下防疫金牌。台湾加油！
有政府，请安心。以上广告由行政院与机关署提供。谁当家？
谁当家？
谁当家？
你当家？
谁当家？
谁当家？谁当家？
当家？我当家？你当家？我当家？
我当家？
到底谁当家？你来当家。
Welcome back to Residence Messenger. Our guest today is Peggy Lin from Project Fulfill Art Space, Contemporary Art Gallery here in Taipei. Let's talk some more about artists you're representing or displaying or exhibiting at the gallery. Another artist is Xu Ting, and Xu Ting is also participating in the Lee's Art Fair Basel 2021. Tell us, what is the Lee's Art Fair Basel?
Lee's Art Fair Basel is the satellite art fair under the biggest, the most important art fair called Art Basel Hong Kong. Art Basel, and Art Basel has Hong Kong and Miami, but List is the satellite, which focusing really on young emerging artists.
Yeah. And how does your gallery get this honor of participating? How are you chosen? What's the process that your gallery is able to exhibit?
Well, I think we were quite well. I won't say lucky, but I think we've been doing a lot of interesting projects in the gallery. They would also see your history, not only what you are going to represent. This is how we apply the art fair. For good art fairs, they always look at your project in the gallery, and then check if it fits their concept. So last year we proposed Yuko Mori, my artist from Japan, and yeah, we got in, and that was the very first time my gallery got into that very important.
Congratulations!
Yeah, and then
this is like a form of
actually,
Taiwan Zhuguang, right? We should all be proud of you.
The first Taiwan gallery.
Yeah,
whoever participated. But unfortunately, because of the COVID-19, we did the online Showtime. It's called Showtime, and this time, well, for the proposal, I also again proposed Yuko, but still cannot do it. So we decided not to do Yuko online, but put young Taiwan artist called Xu Ting. Yeah, because I think the target is a little bit No, target is fit what they need, young emergent artists. So I think it's time for us to show Taiwanese artists there. Yeah.
And what will Xu be exhibiting at the
That
Lease?
will be is exhibiting in Showtime right now. It's a photograph, but her piece are focusing on the capturing some lights, like natural light or like street light or cars reflection, and then zoom in and then focusing on the line of the light. So you actually it's very abstract, but looks quite mesmerizing. You probably need to know, you have to think about, oh, is that a street light or just flashlight or something. It's quite mysterious and it's interesting. And then we are showing smaller piece, which is, eye candy, and the price is good, quality is good, and the young artists. So we are focusing, the strategy is to attract more people to pay attention to this artist, and then potentially, of course, if we had sale, that would be even better.
Are they able to, the organizers, do they share with you any data about the number of people online who are watching shootings?
Interestingly, you ask about that.
That's why I'm the host, Peggy.
Yes, good. Well, this year we haven't had it because I think it will last for another week, because online can be longer. The actual show will be closed, I think, tomorrow or Sunday. Yeah, it lasts for I think it lasts for 10 days, but online will last another week. So after that, we'll see if they will give us, because last year we tried really hard. We put the artwork, we had the artist, because she was in Japan and we were here, and we have to make some video to present. And then we just like back and forth, and then asked the editor to do it, and then put a lot of effort. And after that, we asked, so can you show us some status? And they said we didn't have any. What is that? I was quite flipped out, because there's no way I got the answer. Like, we didn't keep any record, we didn't track. There's no way, right?
Yeah, it sounds unusual that they didn't track the number of hits different artists got within the website.
Yeah, and from which channel. So yeah, I'm hoping that they will do it. I'm comfortable that I have confidence that they will give us this time.
Does the user experience, for lack of a better description, does it suffer though because this is online, or does shootings, this visual artwork with light that she does, it works well to watch it online?
I think so. And this is the reason why we also choose photograph, because it's already one layer. It's not the actual thing you've already captured through the camera, and then go another layer to the computer or laptop. Or cell phone is still okay, and then we already got some requirement. Yeah.
And was you said there's still 2 days left? Is this open to the broader public to go online and watch it, or is it open to a limited number of people? You have to buy a ticket, or
you can for the actual show you have to, of course, buy the tickets. But for the online show, I think you can just go to the website and then register.
Yeah, so it's not limited to people in the trade, in the industry.
Not at all. Yeah.
And afterwards, will shooting be exhibiting something at the gallery in Taipei?
Yes, soon in October 16 in my gallery, and then it will be, again, of course, photo, but at the same time, it will have she will build site-specific elements, like echo to the line of the light, some woodworking, and then some hand drawing on the wall or on the floor.
And will shooting be there every day to explain to people what the works are?
It's my job to do it. So come visit me.
Do people, because of COVID, do people have to pre-register to visit the gallery for
right now
that?
You don't need to. Yeah, it's already level 2. Yeah, as long as you just
scan your QR code.
Yes.
Let's talk about another artist that you work with, animator, Zhang Xuzhan. Now, his website says that his works are full of bizarre, absurd, grotesque image expansion. What does all of that mean? Because it sounds a bit scary.
It looks at the first time it looks a bit scary because it's animation. So the shape look a bit bizarre, and element that
grotesque.
Grotesque,
absurd,
and then also the sound, the music. The previous work he composed himself, and then he sing himself, and then he has really high pitch. The sound is really weird. If you are interested, just go online and then you'll find his work. I cannot sing it because I think you'll ask me to shut down. So the sound is also really bizarre, and the reason why the shape looks bizarre because he came from the family which made the paper puppet. Paper traditional object that burned for the afterlife. It's for the funeral. His family, he is the third or fourth generation of the shop. So the practice is a little bit different because it needs to burn afterwards. So they use the waste paper, like newspaper, to create the flush. So it's handmade. So it looks not really like smooth. It has some texture on it. And then inside they use the bamboo to be the structure. But because of the stop motion animation, he used the wire. And the flush and the newspaper, it looks quite weird. And so that's how he explained himself, and plus the music. But it's really nice to watch.
How do you keep a talented young animator, this kind of someone with this kind of talent like Zhang Xuzhan? How do you keep him in the art world and not something even more commercial? Because he has someone who has animation skills. There are a lot of things they could be doing that might be more commercial than art.
Not possible because it takes really, really long time. Like for example, the piece that he is showing in Berlin right now in the Artist of the Year big award, he had prepared it for 2 years. You have to handmade the puppet, handmade the diorama, and then when you start to shoot, you have to move the object one just like this, and then take one photo, and then to make this movement, it probably take about 50 photos. And then combine all together. So commercial-wise, no way.
No, but I meant, he has skills that he could take into the commercial world and not do something that is so artsy, for lack of a better word. How do you keep him in the art world and not move?
No, I don't need to keep him. He wants to do it. Yeah, but he does collaborate with a lot of he made some pieces for the music video, and he got award in the not in the short list of Jinmajiang 2-3 years ago, and then he made part of the commercial to promote the next edition of Jinmajiang.
Yeah. You mentioned the award. Zhang won a very prestigious award, a Deutsche Bank Artist of the Year for 2020, 2021. What does this kind of honor mean for a Taiwan artist or contemporary art in Taiwan?
Well, first of all, Deutsche Bank is one of the most supportive contemporary art in the bank business, and also they support, and you'll see a lot of art fairs either sponsored by Deutsche Bank or the other one. My God, the other one. The other big
the
other big. So either of them, and both of them had big collection. So
which they display in their corporate offices.
Yes, the other one. And anyway, so I think to be recognized by this foundation or the bank is quite a big deal. Yeah, because this time we have 3 artists. One from German, of course, and the other one from Africa. No, from America, South America, and the third one from Asia. They pick Zhang Xuzhan. I think it's a really, really honor, big deal. Yeah, because they notice how good he is, how special he is.
This is almost like winning the Taiwan athletes winning the gold medals in the Olympics.
I feel like it because actually the thing is when the curator, I think, emailed to him to tell him that you are in. Not like you are in the shortlist, you are in. And then he showed me the email. I was like, really? Because that's a really, really important curator. Really? Seriously? Is it?
You thought it was fake?
Is that a joke? And then I check, and then it's verified. And then I also called my friend from Japan. She was working in Deutsche Bank about that field, because there was a very famous Japan artist got the award. So I asked her, so is this like important? How important? He said, this is a big deal. They will have a solo show in the museum in Berlin, and they will have a catalog written, published. And it's really, even though it's not, they won't give you the money, but they give you production fee. Full production fee. So that's a really, really good deal.
Well,
big deal.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yuko Mori is another artist that you work with, has a show in October. Yuko Mori makes art out of everyday objects and mechanical components. What's that?
Well, it's just like Wang Zhongkun. They just make something, and they make sound or movement. And this time, showing in the museum in Taichung, the National Museum, it will be a piano and a video. And well, actually, the piano is like automatic piano. And then when you walk around it, the piano will react to your step, or
and
even
start playing music.
Yeah, start to play the sound you made. Oh. They will follow your footstep. They will mimic the sound of the footstep. And even if you clap or if you sing, the note will convert it to a music note. And the video, actually, the major thing that trigger the piano is the video inside. Like previous show in my gallery, she just recorded the wave of the ocean. So when the waves just like flushing in, you'll hear the music. You'll hear the piano playing like loud, and it's like exactly the same.
So different people walk in different ways, it'll produce different music.
Yeah.
Because my girlfriend, she likes to say I walk or run like a dinosaur. So they're probably.
It will reflect.
It will be reflected. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll definitely have to check that out.
Okay. Yeah.
Very quickly, because we're almost out of time. Yeah. Give us a quick preview of Art Taipei, which is coming up at towards the end of October.
Yeah, we will showing 10 artists, and the art piece will be painting, sculpture, photo. And also one special project is live performance. The artist will be on top of a pile of paper, and then start to use the knife to draw himself, to draw the line where he stand, and then non-stop from the beginning till the end, 5 days in a row, like 8 hours every day.
So.
Don't miss it.
Don't miss it, because
it's really amazing. Okay, you'll see the paint.
And where can people get more information about what's upcoming at Project Fulfill?
Please check please follow our Instagram. You'll get everything and anything. And it's Project Fulfill is one word. It's our ID number.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Peggy, for coming in and sharing with us all this great news about contemporary artists in Taipei.
Thank you.
Thank you. You've been listening to Resonance Messenger on Taipei Broadcasting Station. Have a great weekend.